guys about why pit bulls are misunderstood and why they should not be banned. So before I start, is there anybody in here that has had a pit bull or would want one? Okay, so a couple of you. So their popularity has increased a lot in the last years, but also there's been a lot of more attacks against them because they've been considered more dangerous. So pit bull isn't an actual breed, it's a generalization of about 6 different breeds. Like the American Pit Bull Terrier is usually the one that we think of mainly as a pit bull, but there's a whole lot of other mixes. And so it's hard to determine what exactly is a pit bull. The picture you see on the left is usually the stereotype that comes to mind when a lot of people think of a pit bull. They think of them as aggressive or killers and really strong and muscular, but that's not true. This is more like the image that you're probably going to see. So BSL stands for breed-specific legislation, and it just is the term for laws that ban or regulate breeds. So there's been a lot of studies that show they're actually very ineffective, and they're not a good way to keep the population safe. And the ASPCA lists a number of reasons on their website why they're not a good idea. So in a statement in 2013, even President Obama said that he did not support BSL laws and that they're not a good way to keep people safe. And one reason that laws against pit bulls are not good is because that it kind of punishes good owners of pit bulls. So if I were to have a pit bull, I wouldn't want it taken away just because someone in another state got attacked if I was doing everything right with it. And another thing is, if people just start banning them everywhere in states, that's the only way they're going to be viewed as a dog that's outlawed and aggressive, and they're not going to be considered a family dog anymore. And it also takes away from useful laws like leash laws and just dog obedience laws that teach people how to have a pit bull rather than just banning them and thinking that'll help. So a lot of people think that pit bulls are used for fighting simply because they're aggressive and they like to fight, but that's not actually true. They're really not aggressive at all, and a lot of sites say that they're not very good guard dogs because they are so friendly and they treat a stranger as a new friend or something. They're definitely the most abused dog, and they're always forced to fight. They're really friendly and they're also really easy to train, so that's another reason that they're used for fighting, just because they like to please people and they're very obedient. So does anybody know in here the show Pit Bulls and Paralyses? Yes? No? Well, if you don't, it's a show on Animal Planet. Villalobos Rescue Center is a rescue center for pit bulls. And this woman and her family runs it, and she also, the Paralyses parts come in because the employees are people that have been in prison stuff, and it's kind of used as a way to rehabilitate them. So they rescue abandoned or neglected pit bulls that are roaming around on the streets or just been abused, and they'll rehabilitate them and treat them how to handle people and stuff. And if you watch it, they'll a lot of times they'll go in and rescue a dog that's just been chained up or whatever, or use a fight, and they're starving. And as soon as these people come and rescue them, they're licking them and they're super friendly. So just because they've been abused doesn't mean they're aggressive toward people. They've been taught to fight toward dogs. They know the difference between people and other dogs. So there's a lot of misconceptions. One of the most famous ones you might have heard is that pit bulls have walking jaws. Well, they don't actually have walking jaws. If you look at their bone structure, they're about the same as a Chihuahua. They're just different size, so they can't actually lock. People think that mainly because when they bite, they hold on, just because they're a determined breed, and if they feel they're in danger, they want to make sure that they're going to be safe. As I discussed, they don't like to fight. They're pretty non-aggressive. A lot of people think that pit bulls will just turn randomly on their owner, but studies have shown that they're not actually more likely to be aggressive. Going back to kind of the BSL laws, a county in Maryland actually spends $250,000 annually to regulate the ban on pit bulls, and a study in 2003 in that county showed that the public safety was not actually improved as a result of the ban, and that there is no transgression committed that was not already covered by another ban of animal control laws. So like leash laws and all those other laws that show like owners how to take care of their dogs have already mainly solved the problem, and the ban is just another unnecessary factor. So yeah, in conclusion, pit bulls are not an aggressive breed. They're actually very friendly, and this is a big problem that I feel that we're focusing on now. And I don't think they should be banned just because a lot of people think they're aggressive. It's kind of like you can compare it to like racism or like the Japanese internment camps, where just because we got attacked by some Japanese, they thought all Japanese were bad, and then they put them in camps, but that's actually not true. A lot of them are very good dogs, and they shouldn't be banned just for that.